Hello and welcome to a channel update for September. So, this is what's going to be on the channel in the next month, and it's your chance to tell me what you think about it. So, first things first, we have a whole bunch of stuff on the channel, but I've been trying to think of what we kind of want to classify the channel as, because for a while I said grand strategy, but that's not really true anymore, is it? Like, Hearts of Iron Stellaris didn't do nearly as well as I suspected on the channel. People weren't as into them. It brought in people to the channel, definitely, but they weren't big things for the channel. Like, neither was European Avals 4, in kind of honesty. None of that was really a big thing for the channel. The Crusader Kings RP stuff, much bigger. RimWorld, lots of people engaged with it. There's a lot of stuff like that, which I feel the channel's a little bit more narratively focused now, which is just a different way of thinking about it, but I'm trying to think of like what games we would want to play. Like, Pillars, for instance, which is the game that I knew I'd forgotten to put on this list somewhere, but completely forgot to. Pillars of Eternity. Like, it did really well on the channel. People were like, I want to see more of this. I want to, this is something I want to see more of. Which made me think that really what we want on the channel is a lot more interesting stuff. Like, I want to show you narrative stuff. I want to show you a lot more things that have a story behind them or can have a story behind them. Like RimWorld, for instance, it has an evolving story. We have a strong colony but has mental breaks. We've had to do betrayals of people who trusted us in order to get food. We've had this toxic fallout that caused us huge problems. We've had volcanic winters. All that stuff. The Game of Thrones stuff has the RP side. It's got it's got the in-depth kind of character stuff. It's got the making decisions about what we're going to do with the realm. That's a lot more narratively focused than I'd originally played. I was like, this is just grand strategy games. That's a little bit more than that, which is where I'm kind of leaning towards. I think that if we have a lot more I think almost even if Hearts of Iron 4 was to come out with a new expansion, I wouldn't be like, that's something I want to play for my channel instantly. I'd be like, if we have a spot, maybe we'll play it. It's the kind of thing where I want to play a lot more things that either have a story or have like some emergent gameplay, that kind of stuff. So that's more where I'm going with the channel. Tell me what you think about that. I think that's a much better direction, and I think it's really where we already are. I think we're just it's not quite twisted that way just yet. Anyway, let's talk about the things that are going to be on the channel. Given that I forgot Pillars for this whole thing anyway, we might as well start with Pillars. Pillars of Eternity. It has been doing pretty well on the channel. In that it's not getting significantly more views than Alpha Protocol. It is getting more consistent views than Alpha Protocol, but it's not getting significantly more. What it is getting is consistency, which means that there is a steady group of people watching it. It's getting people saying, I want to see more, which is definitely a positive. If you can get someone to say that, that means that you've done your job. There is going to be, there's going to be at least one person who's like, I want to keep watching this. I want to keep seeing what's going to happen. That's worth it. That means that if you can get one person in, you can get 2 people in, you can get 3 people in, you can get as many people as you can get to watch the video in. That's what we're aiming for. So Pillars is going to continue. It is going to be a long game, and I kind of deliberately went with that. The reason I want to play a really long game is because there's going to be a lot of other stuff on the channel that's going to be shorter. Like RimWorld, fairly short series. Ironborn series is going to be the last long CK2 one for a while. I think the next one that we do with custom characters is going to be about 50 episodes I'm going to aim for. Next Game of Thrones stories, I think 30 was a good meat. I think 30 is a good amount for the story-based ones, because you kind of get enough to see what's happening afterwards, but then you can't. It was almost getting to the point of the Darien campaign where it was a little bit too much, so I think what we're going to aim for is like 25 is like the soft cap, and then we look for a good ending after 25. So that's where we're going with that. So yeah, Pillars. I want something on the channel that's going to be there for a long time, that's going to be consistent, that's going to be it's going to be something that not a lot of other people would have finished as well. I am very much planning to finish the game on the channel. So I may need to increase the episode size or increase the amount I'm putting out per week, but it will be done. And hopefully before Tyranny releases, which is really my aim, because Tyranny is going to be the next game by Obsidian on the same engine, so it's very similar. Although you get to play as the bad guys, which is always cool. Pathfinder, let's just go up the list. Pathfinder is going to be ending soon. Now the reason it's going to be, it's 90% going to be ending soon. And the reason for this is we have one person who's dropping out. And with one person dropping out, we have another person who would prefer to be playing a different system, but may have to drop out anyway. And if we lose 2 people, then that's not going to be very much, then it's not going to be much of a continuing story. We have a third person who may drop out as well. So, right now, Pathfinder is going to be ending, and we are aiming to start a new group afterwards. We're thinking we might play Fate, but we're seeing how that is first. I believe that we have a trial run going in person with some people. I'm not involved in that, so I don't need to care. But Fate, we're going to see how it is, see if it would translate well over to this kind of content, and we'll see how it is. So yeah, it was an interesting experiment, Pathfinder. I think that if we had more consistent early weeks, we would have more people watching. I think the early weeks were a little bit bad in terms of story and in terms of technical. The story wasn't that bad and the technical wasn't that bad. We just started off a little bit awkwardly. I think if we'd started off a little bit more confidently, a little bit, if we'd hit the ground running a little bit more, I think it would have done a little bit better on the channel. I don't think it would have done much better, but I think we'd have done a little bit better. Anyway, this is just usually just a place we leave it for VODs anyway, so we'll see. We'll see. Might also not be streaming it in the future. I don't know. We'll see. Depends whether we still have the streaming person involved. Because the rest of us don't have the internet, apparently, to get it looking as it should. Anyway, Elder Kings. 2 episodes in at time of recording. Seems to be doing very well. I'm not sure what the view is, what the views are going to cap out at, but it is doing much better than other series have done at the start. But I want to know whether this is just people on my channel who are interested in Elder Kings, or whether this is people from outside the channel interested. Because generally you don't want to just get your subscribers watching, because if I do that, I cap out at 2,000 views. But if we can get more people watching, then we can get the channel to grow, and that's what I'm aiming for with series. I want the channel to grow right now, which is a fair aim. And Elder Kings, I'm enjoying it. It does mean I have to switch back between patches in CK2, but it is only a 62 megabyte patch this time, instead of a half gigabyte patch when I was previously doing it for the Horse Lords to whatever the expansion, Ashes of India, was it? Wow, was it that long ago? Anyway, I think that was the previous time when I was switching between them and not liking it very much. But yeah, we'll do that. Divinity, continuing. We are probably going to end around episode 110. We are currently at episode 92. So it's not that far off us actually finishing that. And there is going to be some Divinity Original Sin 2 content out before the actual stuff. It comes out in early access on the 15th of September. I backed it on Kickstarter, so I should have access to that early access. And my plan is, I don't want to show off the story, but I may show off some of the combat arena stuff. I may do some of those videos to show off some of the new stuff going on with the game. We'll see if we can get my co-op partner to show himself and help out with that. In fact, if I get him there, we could do some of the story stuff as well. Because apparently it's an hour-long thing. I don't know. It's a very, very first zone. So that sounds cool. See what changes they made, and then come back and do the full playthrough starting December, I think, is when it actually comes out. Anyway. RimWorld. RimWorld series will be ending soon. The reason the RimWorld series will be ending soon is a new alpha came out. So there will be a new RimWorld series starting soon. Basically, that's it. They did leave the previous alpha up as a beta, which is very nice. It's which that's weird to say. It's because Steam doesn't have an alphas page, it has a betas page. So it's alpha 14 under the betas page, which is a little bit weird. Anyway. But yes, they left it up so I can continue this current campaign for a little bit. But I think it is time to start wrapping it up. Not sure how to do that. I think we may just call it on the next big crisis. We'll see. I'll ask in the next RimWorld episode what people are thinking. We may end it at the end of this week, no matter what. If people are like, hey, just move on to the next one. I want to see a new setup from you. Then that will be cool. Because it adds in a whole bunch of new stuff like drugs and stuff, which are very cool. Game of Thrones stories, what I've got written here. This is going to be a story-based one. I'm thinking we're going to do something like Robert's Rebellion or something like that. I haven't really decided yet. I'm a bit wishy-washy. I may do a straw poll. I'm going to wait for the Reaper's Due patch for Game of Thrones, I think. But if it's not out by next week, I may just do a very short series that could end at any moment so we can go play Reaper's Due. Anyway, we'll see. Ironborn. Ironborn is going to continue. It's a little out of sync, but it should be... I think I'll do an extra 2 episodes this week, which will mean that we'll end at episode 90 starting next week, and then it's 2 more weeks. So 3 weeks of Ironborn left. Then there's something new. Something different. No, that's actually a different thing entirely on my schedule there. But we're going to be playing something a little bit more intrigue focused, and I'll talk about it closer to the time, and it will have custom courtiers, but done in a different way, which I'll also talk about closer to the time. Something different. This is the temporary name for a series, which is basically, I'm getting a lot more keys. The channel is growing, and I'm getting like a lot of keys from people saying like, here's my game, check it out. And there are a lot of cool ones, but they don't really fit in with the channel. Like, Cryogun would be the perfect example of that. It's a cool game, not really what fits in with the channel, but my plan is to start a kind of series, which will probably be about a week thing, where we'll just play, like, you know, we'll try out, we'll do a, this is something different. We're going to play Cryogun. We'll play it for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, show you what it is. Doesn't have to be like a review or a first impressions kind of thing. It's just a straight up, this is the game, here's what it is, it's out on Steam, go try it out. That's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty cool. The first episode is recorded, I'll go out on Saturday. I may do 2 a week, depends, I don't know. See how popular it is, see how many keys I get, because if I'm getting like, you know, 1 key every 2 weeks, then chances are it's going to be once every 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll see. But I would very much like to do that. If you can think of a better name, then we will use it for the next episode. Because something different does not sound like a very good name, and I think it's probably been used by someone else. Anyway, that should be pretty much everything. I think I've covered it all. It's a relatively shorter channel update, which is good. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in one of these multitudinous series. See you then. Goodbye.